Thank you for your participation to the event on launch of SME Facilitation Cell for India, Japan, Small and Medium Enterprises Opportunities Today. 皆様、本日は中小企業促進室今日中小企業のためのビジネスチャンスにご参加いただきまして誠にありがとうございます。To begin today's event, may I invite His Excellency Mr. Shivi George, Ambassador of India to Japan, to make inaugural remarks. はじめに、駐日インド大使シビ・ジョージ閣下より開会挨拶をいただきます。
Good afternoon, everybody. Your Excellency, Mr. Kazushige Nabutani, President, Japan External Trade Organization, JETRO, Ms. Manmeet Nanda, MD and CEO of Invest India and Joint Secretary, Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, Shri Shailesh Padak, Secretary General of Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, FICCI, distinguished guests, esteemed representatives from the small and medium enterprise sector of Japan. A good afternoon to each one of you. I thank your attendance today as we mark a significant step towards in strengthening economic cooperation between India and Japan. Relations between India and Japan have a long history rooted in spiritual affinity and strong cultural and civilizational ties. Today, our ties have transformed into a special, strategic and global partnership encompassing in a wide range of areas, business relationship being the most important one. In the economic domain, we have robust bilateral cooperation, from being the fifth largest investor in India to supporting flagship infrastructure development projects such as the high-speed railways, Shinkansen and Metro. Japan is an important economic partner for India. Government of Japan and Japan industry have been playing a very significant role in India's transformational journey. Dear friends, I would like to see our economic engagement to deepen and strengthen further. We need to realize that any investment by Japan or Japanese business or any business engagement with India by Japanese companies is an investment in the strategic depth of Japan. Today, there are around 1,500 Japanese companies in India. These are 1,500 success stories. We need to speak about these success stories all across Japan. In the last 6 months, I have been traveling in Japan widely, visited 21 prefectures till date, met the governors, interacted with the business community, interacted with the universities. Each one of them, I have been telling the story of the 1,500 business success stories in India. And I'm very happy to see the momentum in our engagement. A lot of Japanese businesses are looking at India and looking forward to engaging with India. I'm very happy to see the overwhelming response and a momentum in our relationship. But what we need is a quantum leap. 1,500 is no way acceptable when it comes to India-Japan relationship. India is 1.4 billion people. The middle class, in terms of purchasing power parity, we are the third largest economy in the world. We need to have more engagement with Japan. 1,500 is not an acceptable figure at all. What we need is a quantum leap. My target is to have 15,000 Japanese companies doing business with India. We are stuck somewhere in the past when it comes to business. We have seen how our relationship has progressed in terms of strategic engagement. We are partners in peace and stability in the region. We are working together to have a free and open Indo-Pacific, and our strategy engagement is growing day by day. We need to have the same trust and confidence translate into our business engagement as well. I'm very happy that President of JETRO is here with us. Our bilateral trade is stuck at $20 billion. We have to multiply it multiple times. We need to increase it. The opportunity is there. India, for example, the middle class in India is bigger than the total population of the United States or the EU. This is what India offers. India brings to the table a 7.2% growth every year, and we want Japan to utilize that opportunity in India and engage. So I would like to see the number increase from 1,500 to 15,000, and for that we need the SMEs to move in. In this endeavor, small and medium enterprises from Japan can play a very critical role. With this in mind, we have been placing special emphasis on reaching out to Japanese SMEs and to tell them of the economic transformation happening in India and invite them to take advantage of the opportunities available in India. As I mentioned in my visits to the prefectures, I always made it a point to interact with the chambers, and I'm happy that with the support of JETRO, we were able to organize business event in multiple cities across Japan. We will continue to do that in coming weeks and months. In the first week of in August, in the month of August, we'll be in Chiba Prefecture again doing an event with JETRO. Today, specifically, it gives me great pleasure to announce the launch of the Small and Medium Scale Enterprises Facilitation Cell here in the embassy, which will boost our efforts in this direction. The big companies of Japan who are already in India, and also more of them are expanding to India, they are capable of and also able to engage themselves in India and expand themselves in India. Who needs support is the small and medium scale companies. I am sure that this initiative will help in facilitating their looking at India and engaging India more closely. I thank our business partners in India who are participating with us, Invest India, Department of DPIIT, then also FICCI, CII, all of them are on board in facilitating this initiative. This is a result of dedicated efforts to enhance bilateral economic cooperation between India and Japan, with particular focus on facilitating entry of Japanese SMEs in India. The cell is being launched today is designed to be the first stop for Japanese SMEs interested in establishing their businesses and investing in the diverse, rapidly growing Indian market. We aim to provide comprehensive support with the collaboration of both private and public business and investment promotion agencies. India, as one of the world's fastest growing economies, offers a plethora of opportunities, especially in the domains of technology, manufacturing, healthcare, and services. India has been consistently improving its business environment with progressive policy reforms, increased ease of doing business, and improved infrastructure. If you look at it, even during the COVID-19 pandemic period, we had continued with our economic reform programs. We have a lot of reforms in structural reforms has taken place in Indian economy, like the GST, the tax system with one single tax for the entire country. We need to make further progress. A lot of process restructuring, process reforms has to take place, and which will take place in due course. But it is not time to wait now. Japanese companies need to move in to engage our relationship. Japanese SMEs can immensely benefit from the cost-effective labor, vast market access, and strategic geographical location that India offers. The facilitation cell will provide insights about market trends, regulatory guidelines, and potential business partnership. In its efforts, the cell will also take support from the business facilitation agencies, including JETRO, Invest India, FICCI, and CII, to provide all possible help to Japanese SMEs. I am happy to mention that one of my officers has been designated as the nodal point for facilitating this movement. As we facilitate increased business ties, we will reinforce the special strategic and global partnership between our two countries. Once again, I thank His Excellency President of JETRO for joining us. I thank Vicky and Invest India for joining us. And of course, I once again welcome each one of you who have joined us today. I'm sure that this small step would help us to take this forward and build a further momentum in our engagement with Japan. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you, sir. 続きまして、日本貿易振興機構ジェトロ副理事長信谷一茂様よりご挨拶いただきたいと思います。Next, I would like to request Mr. 一茂信谷, President, Japan External Trade Organization, to make some remarks.
シビジョージ駐日インド大使閣下、インベストメントインディア、その他関係機関の代表者の皆様、そして本日ご来場いただきます皆様、ジェトロ副理事長の信谷と申します。今回のインド政府による SME ファシリテーションセルの開所にあたり、協力機関として一言ご挨拶を申し上げます。今足型大使からインドにいる日本企業の数を1500社、これを15000社に増やすんだというお話がございました。ジェトロの数え方は少し違うんですけども、拠点の数を数えていまして、インドにはだいたい5000社、5000拠点の日本企業の拠点があると言われています。約1年半の前の数字ですけども、この5000というのが多いか少ないかというと、中国と比べると中国は3万ぐらいの拠点があります。アメリカが9000、タイが6000ということでありまして、比べると確かにインディアの拠点数は少ないように思います。したがって、まだまだ進出する余地があるんだろうというふうに我々も思っております。ジェトロでは、インドに5つ拠点を持っています。デリーの他に4つ拠点を設けておりまして、日本にも専門家がいて情報を提供してますし、現地でもですね、アドバイザーがいて、いろんな必要な情報をお届けしているつもりであります。しかしながら、我々自身も感じることでありますけれども、インド、非常に大きな国でありまして、なかなか、隅から隅まで、情報を取ってお届けするということができないというのは我々が感じているところでありまして、したがって今回、インド政府の側からですね、中小企業に対して特にこのような、ファシリテーションが提供されることは非常にありがたいことだと思っております。聞きますと、SME ファシリテーションセルというのは、世界で初めて日本に設置されるということでありまして、インド政府の日本に対する期待がとても大きいということがよくわかるわけであります。さっきも大使からお話がありましたように、日本からは大企業がインドにたくさん進出しておりますけれども、これから中小企業の方にもチャンスがたくさんあると思っております。と申しますのは、私、去年の5月だったと思いますけれども、岸田総理がインドに行った際に一緒に参りまして、いろんなところを見せていただきました。これから力強く経済成長していく、まさにその入り口のところにあるというのを強く感じてきてまいりまして、多くのビジネスマンが世界中からインドに来ております。あるいはインドからの日本に対する期待も非常に高くて、先日、日本企業に就職したいインドの学生さん相手のオンラインウェビナーをやったんですけども、参加者が6000名を超えるということで、非常に関心が高いということがよくわかるわけであります。インドと日本の関係はこのように非常に安定して発展の方向にあると思いますし、経済の成長という面でも、インドというのは特に注目して良いところではないかと思っております。ジェトといたしましては、今回の SME ファシリテーションセルが皆様のインドにおけるビジネス、投資の一助となって、我々ジェトロが提供いたしますサービスと一緒になってですね、少しでも皆様にとってビジネスの発展のきっ かけになってくれればというふうに思っております。最後に、本日このように、会を設けてくださいました駐日インド大使館の皆様にも感謝申し上げますし、これから一緒にですね、日本の中小企業のインド進出に向けて協力していければと思います。本日はどうもありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。Next, we will have a video message from Ms. Manmeet Nanda, MD and CEO of Invest India and Joint Secretary, Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. Please see the screen. MD and CEO 兼インド商工省産業国内取引推進局次官補マンミート・ナンダ様よりビデオメッセージをいただいております。
Good afternoon, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be here today with my esteemed colleagues, His Excellency Mr. Sibi George, Mr. Nabutani and the Embassy of India, Tokyo, for the launch of the Small and Medium Enterprises Facilitation Cell for India-Japan Small and Medium Enterprises Opportunities. The SME Facilitation Cell will act as the first point of contact for Japanese SMEs that are looking to explore the investment opportunities in India with the support of JETRO, Embassy of India in Tokyo and Invest India that will handhold potential investors. India and Japan's economic partnership is a key pillar of our wider special strategic and global partnership, and such initiatives will go a long way in elevating this partnership to a higher level. Japan, being the fifth largest investor in India, has received a cumulative amount of $38.7 billion for the period of April 2000 till March 2023. This investor confidence by Japanese companies in India can be witnessed through the survey conducted by Japan Bank for International Cooperation in 2022, where India has been ranked as the top promising country for investment over the medium term. India has also secured the first position as the top promising country in the automobile sector, second position in the electrical equipment and electronics and chemical sector, and third position in general machinery sector rankings. India has also been ranked first for the 13th consecutive year as the most promising country in the long term, which is the next 10 years. Japan is the only country that currently has 11 dedicated industrial townships across 8 states in India, where there are 111 Japanese companies that are present in these industrial townships or JITs. 70% of these companies are concentrated in 2 Japanese industrial townships, which are Neemrana in Rajasthan and Sri City in Andhra Pradesh. The model of JITs also presents a huge opportunity for MSMEs from Japan to create an organic cluster in these townships. To complement Japanese investors' search for investment opportunities and suitable infrastructure in India, the Japan Plus Desk at Invest India, in partnership with the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, has been set up as a one-stop shop for exploring and materializing India entry plans for Japanese companies by working closely with Indian Union ministries, states, and regulatory authorities. The desk also provides information on investment opportunities across sectors in specific projects and extends holistic support to the small and medium enterprises from Japan with interests in investing in India. It is also heartening to note that 5 trillion yen of Japanese investments into India has been committed by the Honorable Prime Minister of Japan during his meeting with the Honorable Prime Minister of India. This commitment will be supported by the India-Japan Industrial Competitiveness Partnership Mechanism, which also includes a special roadmap and working group for MSMEs as well. I am happy that the Embassy of Japan has recognized India's efforts to enhance the business environment for Japanese investors in India and efforts to improve the ease of doing business. The micro, small and medium enterprises sector in India, with more than 63 million enterprises, has emerged as a highly vibrant and dynamic sector of the Indian economy, with over the last 5 decades accounting for close to 30% of the gross domestic product. The MSME sector has been a driving force behind the growth of the Indian economy. It is beyond doubt that with entrepreneurship, innovation and agility at its core, the MSME sector can not only play a very vital role in making India a $5 trillion economy, but can also become a growth engine for making India a developed country by 2047. Recognizing the crucial role of MSMEs in establishing a robust supply chain across diverse sectors in India, the government is committed to fostering a self-sustaining ecosystem. The objective is to strengthen the connections between major organizations throughout the entire supply chain, thus ensuring its resilience and efficiency. With key policy interventions such as the production-linked incentive schemes, the presence of leading manufacturing prowess and capabilities, especially from Japanese companies in India, there exists an immense opportunity for Japanese SMEs to tap into the opportunities that exist in India's vibrant manufacturing space and cater not only to the domestic demand, but also explore opportunities for export to other countries. Japan is one of the key focus regions for India, and we are pleased to note that India is rightly placed to welcome Japan to synergize with India's opportunities and the potential that is hugely enhanced by India's Make in India initiative. I can certainly say that India and Japan are well placed to lead the global economic recovery in the post-COVID scenario. Our strong and close cooperation will be instrumental in ensuring a common global agenda for the 21st century and realizing the vision of Make in India for the world. This proposal of Embassy of India, Tokyo, to set up a dedicated SME cell is a welcome initiative to further bolster the India-Japan economic partnership. I can reassure you, Embassy of India, Tokyo, DPIIT and Invest India are just a phone call or an email away to help you with your India investment journey to make it a success. We warmly welcome you to Make in India and make for the world from India. Thank you.
Next, I would like to request Mr. Sailesh Patak, Secretary General of the Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, FICCI, to make remarks virtually. Please see the screen. 続きまして、インド商工会議所連合会事務局長、サイレーシュ・パタック様よりオンラインでご挨拶いただきます。スクリーンをご覧くださいませ。
おはようございます。I hope you can hear me clearly. Thank you, Ambassador C.B. George, for inviting FICCI to join this launch of the SME Facilitation Cell. Thank you, JETRO President Mr. Kazushige Nobutani. I was reading about JETRO's objectives and very clearly helping small to medium-sized Japanese firms maximize their global export potential is the mandate of JETRO. We in FICCI have been in regular touch with Japan and Japanese businesses in JETRO, Only 4 days ago, we welcomed former Prime Minister Suga Yoshihide and the Ganesha group of members of parliament from Japan to FICCI to discuss how Indian businesses could work closer with FICCI business, with Japanese businesses. In terms of small and medium enterprises, which the facilitation cell is going to help, it is very clear that the biggest factor is trust. The large Japanese companies are already in India and they know the Indian ecosystem. In fact, I remember the Suzuki joint venture for Maruti cars that happened, I think, in 1986. But the component suppliers, which were small and medium enterprises, would also locate themselves next to the Suzuki plant. And that is such a great success that all those small and medium enterprises have made a lot of money. In terms of Indian small and medium enterprises, we have a limit of 50 crores turnover and 250 crores turnover for Indian rupees for small and medium enterprises. Obviously, in Japan, there would be similar classification of small and medium enterprises. But as FICCI, we often interact with Indian small and medium enterprises who want to partner with Japanese small and medium enterprises. We are proposing in FICCI to set up a matching service based on a mobile phone in which, suppose you are from Yokohama and you want to do food processing and you want a partner from Pune in India, you should be able to use the FICCI platform and find out who are potential partners. The Embassy of Tokyo, under Ambassador C.B. George's leadership, is setting up this facilitation cell, and we will work closely with the facilitation cell, as also our colleagues in Invest India, Manmeet Nanda, has just spoken about it. The second big thing is which place in India could small and medium enterprises from Japan come? And as our Invest India colleague mentioned, there are 11 dedicated townships across 8 states. She specifically mentioned the largest being Neemrana between Delhi and Jaipur, and Sri City, which is very close to Chennai, which was earlier called Madras. But the other thought I had was that it is not only business that matters, it is also a nice social and cultural context. So there are cities in India where Japanese expatriates are found in large numbers. There are good Japanese restaurants, excellent cuisine, and we will be very happy as FICCI to help both Japanese small and medium enterprises as well as the facilitation cell of the Embassy of India. I wanted to just mention one number. Morgan Stanley is this global investment bank, and that has just said that the GDP of India is going to increase from something like $3174 billion US. It's going to increase from $3174 billion US, which is 3.2 trillion, to around 7.9 trillion in the next 7 years. So from 3.2 to $7.9 trillion US is the increase from now till 2030, which is in 7 years, which is almost a 2.5 times increase. As an Indian, I am very happy to say that India has never seen such high growth earlier. 2.5 times in 7 years is unprecedented. Japan is one of India's closest partners, and Prime Minister Japan has spelled out his vision, including regional economic connectivity. We would welcome Japanese small and medium enterprises to come to India and locate themselves in the value chains of India. Just so that you know, I am currently about to go to Guwahati in the northeast of India because where the Japanese ambassador Hiroshi Suzuki-san is joining us, and the big objective is that with JICA assistance, a port in Bangladesh is coming up called Matar Bari Port. And we want the Northeast logistics and goods to be exported through this port, Matar Bari Port, which is largely through Japanese assistance. So we are calling it Northeast to the world. All your small and medium enterprises could not only come to Neemrana and Sri City, we will prepare the northeastern states of India for Japanese SMEs. Finally, I will only say FICCI has a long history of 96 years. You may have heard of Mahatma Gandhi, father of our nation. Mahatma Gandhi came for the 4th annual general meeting of FICCI, and we will celebrate 100 years of our existence in April 2027. We hope to invite the top-ranking Japanese leaders along with our Indian Prime Minister and other dignitaries to celebrate 100 years of Indian industry's largest federation of chambers of commerce and industry. Thank you. Arigato gozaimasu.
Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to request Mr. Shishir Kotari, First Secretary, Commerce, Embassy of India, Tokyo, to make a presentation on brief explanation of the SME Facilitation Cell. 続きまして、在日インド大使館一等書記官商務シシル・コタリより中小企業促進室に関する概要説明を行います。
Thank you. I would like to explain in brief the purpose of setting up of this cell and what it intends to do. But before I do that, I would also like to take just a few minutes to quickly share with you all the economic growth and development that's taking place in India and why it is the right time for Japanese companies and SMEs in particular to invest in India. Several of these points have been mentioned by Ambassador in his remarks and also by other speakers. So I will keep it short. India today is the fastest large growing economy in the world. It grew at about 7% in the last financial year. And this recovery came straight after the economy shrank significantly in 2020-2021 during the pandemic. And India is also today the 5th largest economy in the world and the 3rd largest if you consider it in purchasing power parity terms. We have set up a roadmap for the next 25-year period leading up to 2047 when India will complete 100 years of its independence. We have set up a target of becoming a developed country by then, and we are expected to be the 2nd largest economy in the world in 2047 with similar levels of growth seen in per capita income, foreign direct investments and exports. And India will also have the largest and youngest working population across top economies globally by 2047. The government of India has been making sustained efforts to improve the ease of doing business in India. It has undertaken a large number of business reforms, and you can see several of them listed here on this slide. These range from offering incentives to manufacturers under production-linked incentive schemes to the launch of a national single window system designed to provide all investor approvals at one place. Next slide, please. Government of India and also governments in different parts of the country, the states of India, have a strong emphasis, focus on improving infrastructure. The infrastructure for railways, highways, ports, and aviation, as you can see on the slide, is improving at a remarkable pace in India. Next slide, please. And technology is playing a very important role in the India story. Some examples of that can be seen in this slide. For instance, India today has the fastest fintech adoption rate in the world. India also has the second highest number of mobile phone users in the world. India expects to have a $1 trillion digital economy by 2025. So these are just some of the examples of how technology is powering India's economic growth. And we have a thriving startup ecosystem as well, the third largest in the world. 1 out of 10 unicorns globally, have come from India. And there are many other aspects that we can talk about. But the short point of these slides is that there has been no better time than now to invest in India. Next slide, please. Now I come to the explanation of the SME cell. The cell has been created to provide support to Japanese small and medium companies interested in establishing their business in India or investing in India. The cell is intended to function, as the first stop for all queries that a Japanese SME may have related to investing in India. And it would also act as a nodal point for connecting you with different business facilitation agencies and chambers, such as JETRO, of course, which has agreed to be a partner for this cell, and also for agencies in India such as Invest India or FICCI. And these are just some of the examples. There are many other agencies that the SME Facilitation Cell will work with and connect the Japanese SMEs with as and when needed. So how will the cell work, and what will it do? First of all, as the ambassador also mentioned in his remarks, we have a dedicated officer at the embassy who will be heading the cell, and we will be sharing his contact details at the end of this presentation. The attempt of the cell will be to provide you the best and the latest information on India's regulatory framework, market trends, and the emerging business opportunity. And as I said, it would also try, with the support of Indian and Japanese stakeholders, to connect Japanese SMEs with suitable Indian partners. And finally, it will provide you all possible support in establishing your business in India. Next slide. These are, some of the benefits that Japanese SMEs could expect by associating with the cell or by approaching the cell. As I said in the beginning, there has never been a better time to invest in India. The cell will be your window to the opportunity that India provides for investors, and particularly the SMEs, which is a very important focus area for us. And it will also help improve your understanding of the business landscape in India, and will enable a seamless entry for Japanese SMEs through creating the right linkages with Indian and Japanese stakeholders. So this brings me to the end of my presentation. Next slide, please. So Mr. Ajay Sethi, who's the Second Secretary Commercial, will be heading the cell. Please feel free to reach out to him for any queries that you may have regarding the cell or your possible setting up of a business in India. So thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. We will now conclude the event on launch of SME Facilitation Cell for India, Japan, Small and Medium Enterprises Opportunities Today. 以上をもちまして、中小企業促進室、今日中小企業のためのビジネスチャンスを終了とさせていただきます。We will have a networking session with light refreshment at the foyer just outside of this venue from now. We hope you will join us. この後、軽食付きのネットワーキングセッションをこの会場を出てすぐのフォイヤーで開催いたしますので、皆様ぜひご参加くださいませ。Please return simultaneously